project, of a new entrepreneurial project, is the potential of the team, of course. Well, let's start with the story of Cubbit, okay? Because I'm also the co-founder of Cubbit with Stefano. Stefano is another co-founder of Cubbit, a co-founder of Startup Day. At the moment, he's in Helsinki. He's working a lot to raise some money for Cubbit, because we raised a couple of million from the European Union just less than 6 months ago, and so now we need to raise more money by leveraging the money that comes from the European Union. I don't know if you understand, but that's, let's say, after 3 years of hard work, now we can say, okay, we have 2 million euros, wow, fantastic, and right now we know that it's basically nothing between us and the success of our business, of our startup, okay? But now we can say, yeah, it's fantastic, everything is great, we love what we are doing, we have a great team, we are now 27 people probably, but at the end of the day, when we started, we were like 4 people, 3 for Startup Day and 4 for Cubbit. We were in a small Airbnb close to the center of Bologna, and in particular in Via San Vitale. And the Airbnb was actually the house of an uncle of one of my co-founders. And we said, okay, we have this house is empty, there's nobody here. Why don't we rent it on an Airbnb? We just rent it, and we get the money to pay the first collaborators that we have, okay? So we started to put together all the most skilled minds that we had around in that period. So it was basically friends, students of software engineering side, and in heart of business, and someone in design. And we put them together, so we used the Airbnb during the day just as an office, and during the night we used the Airbnb. Basically, we rented it. Okay, so we used it to get some money to pay collaborators, and that was the beginning. Why I said that? Not just because we love to say, and it's really good for newspaper and for media when we say, oh yes, we were born in an Airbnb and not in a garage, but we are a tech startup as Apple, wow, fantastic. No, that's not the point, okay? The point is that when you're at the beginning of your business, when you, as you are at the moment, are starting to think how can you develop the business, what you can do to do that, how many operational stuff you have to do to build your business, to build your team, to create a network of people, maybe you have to start from where you are, basically. So you don't have to think. The first thing that founders do at the beginning of this project is, okay, I need some money. That's the first one, I need some money. I have an idea, I want to put in touch people that loves restaurants and people that are running restaurants, okay? I want to do that. Basically, there's also TripAdvisor, I don't know if you know it, so that's a wrong idea, wrong business at the moment. But anyway, when you start to say, okay, this is a great idea, I need to develop an app to do that, and so what I have to do, just to raise, I don't know, 100,000 euro. And that's the wrong thing. Ok? Why? Perché? Perché quando tu sei in una condizione in cui non hai niente in mano, ok? Non hai possibilità effettivamente di convincere dei colleghi a lavorare per te pagati, da un lato, ma non hai neanche la possibilità dall'altro di convincerli del fatto che il tuo... Tutto in inglese? Sicuri? Ho visto come fa più figo. It's much more cooler, ok. Adesso, se qualcuno non capisce del tutto dica ripetetemi, oppure si prenda Giacomo che ha la colpa e se lo metta di fianco e si faccia tradurre, ok? Dove ero rimasto? The point is you don't have any kind of authority, okay, to bring people around you and say, okay, let's do together and let's build a business. And so you have to find something else. Maybe the idea itself Because sometimes you have a great idea. Cubbit was a great idea. I mean, building a distributed data center, a distributed cloud, based on the power of collaborations, of collaboration of people in a peer-to-peer technology, cutting-edge technology, the newest that you can imagine. So you can sell it, okay, to your co-founders, you can sell it to your first collaborators, and that's nice. Sometimes you have to leverage on that. But sometimes you have just like a, I don't know, an idea that is a little bit like less stronger in terms of potential, okay? I don't know, we want to create a network of gym all around Bologna. Yeah, it's a cool idea, I mean, and that could be also a good business. There's a business like that, there's a startup, I think in Italy, that is now, I don't know, maybe they have some, like 30, 50,000 people that are using this app to, like, let's say, have a network of gym where you can go, okay, you can play, you can have, you know, soccer or whatever. So, sometimes you can leverage on the idea. Other times you can leverage on your career, for example. So let's say, I don't know, you have some experiences in your past, or you come from, I don't know, the Harvard Business School, or you spent a lot of money, a lot of time in, I don't know, in volunteering stuff, just you name it, okay? But you can leverage on that, on your experience. Or maybe, you have to leverage on something else, like the charisma, your personal charisma, that usually it comes from ego, okay? Most of us have ego, of course. But the point is, you have an ego, and you can use it just to say, I'm the best in the world, I am the better, I can do my stuff, I am the entrepreneur, I am the boss, I am the one that know what we need to do. Or maybe you can use your charisma to convince people to follow you and to start to believe in your project. So, the point is, we started from that, from the scratch, from an Airbnb in Via Sant'Italia. And the reason why we want to explain, we want to teach you those lessons, basically, our experience is just for that. It's just to say, okay, maybe you have an Airbnb, and maybe you can rent it, okay? Or maybe, I don't know, you have your parents run a restaurant, and maybe you can convince them to say, let's work, okay? Let's work for, no? See, dammi gioia? No? Let's work for like a couple of days a week to get some money to develop my business. I don't know, okay? Many different opportunities for people that want to be entrepreneur. I really believe in that, and it's not easy. Because, as I told you, there's no one that can tell you what you have to do. Not me, not Giacomo, nobody, no one in Almacube, nobody, okay? You just have to learn some stuff, starting from what you know and what are your assets, your family, your ego, your charisma, your project, starting by that and moving forward. Do you understand what I mean? Okay, so that's the first step. What I will do now is just to like follow the story of Cubbit and trying to give you some tips on the stuff. But it's just, I mean, the beginning of the lesson, if you want to call like that like lesson. But the point is, later I would love to like hear you for some questions, also in Italian if you prefer, if you're scared about English. I was scared about English like 2 years ago. Now I know it a little bit better, not really good, but I'm trying to work on that, and that's the typical spirit that you have to do if you want to be an entrepreneur, okay? I've never been in London for a summer experience during the high school. I've never been in London for an Erasmus, but I started to speak in English because I need to do that if I want to work in the startup world, and that's it. There's no way you can do anything else. So I started to learn English, and convinced myself that I had to do that just a couple of years ago, maybe less. Okay. I come from Bologna. My co-founders comes from Bologna. The point is, we are all smart people with a good career in terms of university career, okay? So we had some opportunities in the normal work. Let's say, for example, when I finished the university, I finished the law school here in Bologna, and Stefano, my co-founder and founder of Startup Day, he finished the business school, the international management school here in this building. And we graduated the same day, okay, the same day, and so together outside from those university, from the two schools, let's say, we went out and we said, okay, now we have to move, we have to start to work in Cubbit. So let's say that we took a couple of, it was like 100 days, and we said, okay, we have 100 days to see if Cubbit can work. We worked a lot in the Airbnb for 100 days with a team, a huge team. Some of them are still with us, but just few. We worked a lot, and at the end of the 100 of days, we said, okay, there's no opportunity to develop Cubbit as we did. So, just imagine 100 days, people that come there and just maybe take, 100 euros per month just to work on that and to develop. When you're a software engineer, you can get at the end of the university, maybe 1,700 euros to work, okay? If you want to go to a normal company or around Bologna, you can get much more if you want to go to work in Tel Aviv or in Switzerland or where you prefer, okay, or in London. But we paid them, 300 euros, 100 euros, something like that. And we started from that and we convinced them to do that for 100 days. But at the end of those days, we said, okay, everything was wrong. The coding stuff were wrong. Everything was wrong. And so we need to restart it from that and starting to rebuild the team, re-understand what we are doing. And we had also let's say, half co-founder that basically came out and said, no, I don't want to work anymore. He was one of the most important coder of the company at the moment. So a lot of dangerous stuff that can kill your enthusiasm and can kill also your opportunity to develop the business. What we do? Well, basically we started to say, okay, we have to move forward on that side, and we say, it was July at the moment. We said, okay, let's see again at the end of August. We will go close to the mountains in a small house of an uncle of my co-founder. I know we are based on. Our business is based on uncles, basically. No, the point is, we were there and we just started again, in the nature, with other people to discuss about the businesses, and we move again up. What I want to, what I would love that you can learn from that is that you just always have to understand that things are changing, okay, and that you must be able to change your mind and to understand how to reset the business every time. Not just the business, also the organization, okay? And for the startup world, it's quite typical to have this, up and down, up and down, up and down. Now we raised a couple of million from the European Union, really up. Nice, but I bet that probably in 6 months from now, we will start to be a little bit, hungry on one side, and on the other one maybe scared about the future, because sometimes you have the money, and sometimes the money comes down and says, no, now you don't have any money to spend to maybe pay people or whatever. So it's always an up and down. And now we know it after 2 years. But when you are exactly in the middle of a down, most of the time you say just goodbye, I close it, okay? I met a couple of days ago a founder of a company that we started with the first incubation program of Almacube. I met him in a bar, and he said to me, we left because we knew that we were not really good people to do this kind of project. And I said, I don't think so. I think that you left because you left. And that's it. And it's okay. I mean, I'm not the person that can come here and say, okay, you will have success, and that's short. I mean, it's impossible to say that. But what I want to say is that you have to understand when you are in the downside. Okay? Sometimes you have to decide that you have to switch the business, to pivoting the business. Who knows what is a pivot in in the startup world? Just one, you want to tell it to just 2, 3? Please. What is a pivot? As you wish.
Processo, diciamo, di ricerca, validazione continuo,
No. Not exactly. Un cambio di direzione, studiate di più il giardino delle imprese lui, E il processo è quello che ti porta a fare un pivot, e il pivot in senso stretto è il cambiamento di orizzonte. The pivot or pivot, I don't know, Giacomo, how do you spell it? Pivot, le pivot c'est français, très bien. A pivot is just like the changing of your business because you understand that your business is not working on that way. Also, like big corporates do the same. Let's say, for example, Microsoft. They had a really big company, and Microsoft was like a strong company. But then, like Apple came, and Apple now is quite good, and they switched on. Like with a new CEO, they started to say, okay, we have to move on another way. But when you do that and you're a big corporate, you need a lot of time, years, to change, okay? To change your positioning, to change your business, to change everything. When you're a startup, you have to do it immediately. And why you have to do it immediately? Because if you are a big company and you're not desperate, you have a lot of money that you can spend during this, let's say, change. If you're a startup, you have to change it, I don't know, 1 week, maybe 2, maybe 1 month, maybe 3 months if you have enough money, and no more than that. So, be positive when you feel that something is going down is the best way you can have to understand when you have to change, and to change without fear. I mean, you can fail because you're down, you can fail because the business is not running in the right way, but you also can fail just because you're scared and you don't know what you have to do, and you don't feel in yourself like the power, the force to say, okay, let's move in another direction. Is it clear? Yes? Someone is sleeping. Okay, so that's another point. Then we moved in the first year of our company, and we met the only person that at the moment is a direct member of our company in terms of equity. Equity sono le quote societarie. In terms of equity, is the only one that right now, out from the co-founders, is not a co-founder of Cubbit, is an investor, a financial investor, is inside. First meeting with this investor, I don't understand what we are doing. I don't understand why we are doing that. I don't understand anything about your technology. I don't understand. Okay, nice. That's the first good meeting. Second meeting with the investor. Now I understand what you're doing. This shit. Thank you very much. The name of the investor, I mean, you can find it, is Gianluca Del Torre, which is one of the most important investors in Italy in the startup world. He was a startupper too, a lot of years ago. Well, Gianluca, we have also up and down, and you always have up and down with the investors. Gianluca is a person that is really straight to the point, okay? He just wants to understand everything about your business, and every single investor did the same. When we were in Tel Aviv just 1 year ago, we were there and we met a lot of different mentors, people, and the Israeli guys are really straight to the point. So they can just hear you for maybe 2 minutes and you're explaining about your great business, like we are building a distributed data center, the power of the peer-to-peer, blah, 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 and they stop you. I mean, you never see in Italy someone that stops you after 2 minutes and say, I don't care about the stuff, goodbye, thank you, okay? They do it, because they really believe in the potential and in the importance of the time for you and for them. Because if they understand that they are not interested in your business, they just say, no, I'm not interested, goodbye. And you don't lose your time to explain something, and you don't have to be sad because they said, I'm not interested. Even if they are, I mean, the CEO of the biggest company of Tel Aviv. It's exactly the same, it's just they are not interested. That doesn't mean that you are, I don't know, it doesn't mean that you are a wrong co-founder, or the judgment is up to you and your business. Maybe they are not interested, maybe they don't understand your business. As Gianluca Dettori did at the beginning, okay? I'm not interested, I don't understand the first time, the second time, now I understand that it's shit. The third time, now I continue to understand, but I don't understand how you can bring something good from that shit and moving forward for like other maybe 3-4 meetings. At the end, and that's another important point, you have to understand that the decision makers are not always the chairman of the company or the VC fund or of the top of the organization where you are, okay? What does it mean? It means that Gianluca Dettori, at the beginning, was totally out of mind with us. He didn't understand anything about the business at the beginning. But street collaborators of him started to say, no, I understand something. He is a software engineer. The name is Nicola Sanarico, which is another member of his organization, and he started to say, no, I understand what they're doing. Gianluca, you're not understanding. This is shit. No, you're not understanding. It's interesting. Just try to understand. And he started to explain it, okay? That's really important for your business, not just because you go one day to speak with, I don't know, maybe a VC fund. I hope so, I really hope so, because I work also for Almacube, so I hope that we will have great startups from you. But the point is, at the beginning, maybe the chairman don't understand, okay, does not understand, but maybe there's someone else that can help you to develop the business, to understand the potential of the business, to let the boss understand something. So, the second real important tip that I want to give you is believe in all the people and in all the networks that you are able to create, okay? The power of the network is not based on how many connections do you have, but how much deeper they are, okay? You understand the difference? I mean, I can basically meet everyone here and have, let's say, a nice moments together during the night, and we'll go to an aperitif for people that want to come and take a spritz with us later, but I'll tell you later. But the point is, if I don't know really well Giacomo, and I don't know that he comes from a place or a different place, and I don't know that he loves some stuff and hates some other stuff, and I don't know that he, I don't know, maybe he has a father that is the CEO of Microsoft. Just tell me if you are. But the point is, if I don't know him pretty well, and if I don't go deeper in the relationship with him, I can get nothing interesting from him. I just meet someone else. So for Nicola Sanarico and us, it was exactly the same. I mean, we started working together on the business, and we started to say, I love these guys, I think that they are a good team, okay? And for us, it was totally impossible to do the same with Gianluca Dettori, because he's a really important person, I mean, and so he needs to spend his time with a lot of startups, much more important than us. So with Nicola Sanarico was perfect, because we started to work together. And so the second tip is the power of the network and the importance to go deeper in the relationship that you build if you want to build a business. Third tip that I want to give you, up and down means also up and down inside the team, okay? Not just the collaborators, but also, and most of the time, with the co-founders. How can you find the right co-founder to develop a business? How can we find the right co-founders to develop a business? I don't know if I'm the right co-founder to develop Cubbit. I know that I'm the co-founder of Cubbit, so I have to work with that. But the point is, how can you find it? I ask it to you. I mean, any idea?
Friends.
Friends you can trust. That's better than friends, just friends. Friends you can trust, okay? They have to be interested in the idea, of course.
Preferibilmente dovrebbe essere una persona che conosci da tempo, con cui andresti a berci una birra, perché comunque è un po' come un matrimonio.
Okay. So, much more than just to drink a beer, I suppose. Because you will not be in a marriage with just a girl that you bring out with you for a chat in the night. Yeah, what he was saying is you have to know the person since a long time. I mean, maybe old friends since the beginning of maybe your experience in the university, let's say 2-3 years, maybe 10, it depends. Yes, it's another point. Okay.
Per me non è importante essere per forza amici, basta avere la stessa voglia di crescere e di migliorare.
Okay, so for him it's not important to be just friends. You have to be only friends, sorry. You have more to, let's say, have the will of being better together, to work together better, and basically that. Someone that has different competences from yours, okay? Okay, he has to be better than you in something. Stato qua, no?
Con gli stessi valori di noi, però con magari competenze diverse.
Same values but different competences, different know-how and everything. Yeah, I think that's the closer definition to mine that I can find. Nice. Okay, warranties. Okay, okay. I promise that I'll never, I don't know, steal your money. Okay.
The person must not be superficial about his work.
For sure. The person must not be superficial. Yeah. That's it. No, any other ideas?
Che riesci a comprendere la tua stessa idea e che ti fidi.
In profondità, immagino.
Esatto.
Well, the point is, in my opinion, the first thing, I mean, entrepreneurs are crazy. Okay, if you want to build a new business, you are a little bit crazy. I really believe in that because, I mean, you can spend your time in a lot of beautiful things in your life, and you want to spend your time to build something from the scratch. That's strange because, I mean, there are so many opportunities in life, so many things that you can see, and you spend your time just on your idea, and you focus all your energy just on your idea. You have to be a little bit crazy on one side, but I think that the most important thing when you trying to find a co-founder is to be, lo dico in italiano, ego compatibili. So you have to find that ego compatibility, okay? You have to find someone, is a new word created by my father, actually. Who said that to me and Stefano once. The point is, you have to find some, I mean, I have a really big ego, okay? Ego. Stefano, as well, is exactly the same. But basically, the most important thing that you have to understand is that it doesn't matter if you have a big ego and also you're a co-founder as well. The difference is just if you're able to mix those things, okay? Because let's say that, for example, you are able, as me and Stefano, for example, we said when we need to speak, have some speeches in public, for example, we just say, okay, whenever we can, we do it together. Because we prefer it, we love it. We started to do that during the high school and we continue to do that right now. When we have really important meetings, we want to be there together because we truly believe in that, because we truly believe that it's important to do that. At the same time, we understand that, for example, if we have a really important meeting, but a meeting where we just have to speak and not to listen, we don't need to be both of us there. Because the point is, on that case, we said, why do we have to spend double of time just to speak and to explain something that one is able to do? Okay? So, the point is, you have to find someone that is really, really good in balancing your ego, your idea, your vision. At the same time, you have to find someone that really believes in your same values. And when I talk about like values, I'm talking about like a marriage, as you say. So, un matrimonio, okay? Find a co-founder, find a partner, find a person that really wants to develop with you a business, means find someone that really believes in what you believe, but not just in the idea, because you can pivot in the idea, you can move in another way, you can have some problem during like the journey, you can find an investor that says, this is shit, I don't believe in that, okay? You have to find someone that truly believes in your values. What I mean with values, how you manage people, for example, okay? If you are, let's say, like let's say 80s style entrepreneur, so coming from 1918 and he said, I am the boss and you're nothing, and you have to do that and that and that. And believe me, I really think that there are a lot of people that continue to think that that's the best way to work with other people. I am the boss, so I have to give some orders. And if I'm not the boss, I have to get some order, and that's it. I mean, it's really different from my vision, and I can't work with someone with this kind of like feelings and with thoughts. Managing people once. Let's say another thing. How much you are able to let other people believe in what you're doing. For example, I know that I can convince someone to do something, and I know that Stefano is able to do the same. I know also that Marco, which is the third co-founder of Cubbit, who is probably like the software engineer, so he's the genius behind our project. Marco is a person that is really able to convince a software engineer to work with us, but is not able to convince, for example, a businessman. Okay, and so also on that you have to find a balance. You have to find the right people, and that's another important side. Other values. How do you want to spend your money in your company? Doing some good teamwork stuff or not? Paying people from the beginning or not? Believe in the power of the, let's say, crowdsourcing of the ideas or not? Believe in the bottom up or in the top down way of like developing new projects? There are like so many things that you can basically think when you try to find a co-founder. But you have to think on the values. That's really important. Think about your values. In what you believe. I mean, maybe in environment, okay, you have to find someone that believes in environment and in like green and in recycling and in everything. You believe maybe that you want to be rich and just that, and you think that your company is made just to do that. Okay, you have to find someone that really believes in the same thing, because if, for example, my co-founder wants to build Google, okay, and I just want to sell the company when, I don't know, the value of the company will be 100 million, let's say, you understand how many tricky and difficult stuff you can find on your way. And it's exactly the same for, for the woman or the man of your life. If you're at the beginning of your journey to together. You say, I want 3 young girls all around me during my next 10 years, and the other one said, no, I want to live alone in Alaska. You understand that you can do that. Okay? Tutto bene?
Sì, sì, no, è finestra.
Okay. Is it cold? Okay, so that's another point. Moving forward, talking about up and down and how to change the things that that can put you down. Startup Emilia Romagna, who knows this thing? Startup Emilia Romagna, who knows this? Okay, please someone else. No. Okay, Startup is a competition. You will apply in this competition if you participate on the incubation program of Almacube. And Startup Emilia Romagna is basically the first competition that we did with Cubbit. Startup Emilia Romagna is just a competition where you present your project, you have to do some business development stuff, you have some selections, 3 selections, and at the end there are 10 companies and they select 3 companies and the 3 companies get some money. I think 5K for the first one, 3K for the second one, and 2K for the third one, or something like that. We did a lot of work for the Startup Emilia Romagna, okay? And we were in the 10 most important company of the year for Emilia Romagna for this project. And we also did a great pitch, okay? Stefano did a great pitch, it was fantastic. So, basically after the pitch, I mean, you know about the ego that I told you before. Okay, so we said, shit, great pitch, great business, great project, much more interesting than the others. There was just one project that was a bit, interesting, and so we said, okay, maybe they can win also, okay, but we will be second, okay? And so, bam, at the end, third prize, a startup named, I don't know. Second prize, oh, another startup. Like, come on, this is the first prize right now. First prize, another startup, and we were like, what? What? Okay? And imagine after 3 months of work and following the stuff, going to Cesena to work on that, and back from Cesena, always working on that. Feel like the delusion, you understand, no? But at the end of the day, the first 5 startups of the competition had the opportunity to move to the PNA. PNA is the national prize for innovation in Italy, based on, let's say, research projects, okay? Projects that, let's say, come from the university, okay? We were there, and we started to work harder, much harder than what we did for the Startup. We worked a lot. Stefano was, I don't remember where, but out from Italy, and so I had the opportunity to do the pitch, and of course we win. That's the reason why, because Stefano is not a good pitcher. No, I'm joking. He's a great pitcher. The point is, we spent a lot of time to work together after a real big delusion like the Startup was, with much less opportunities to win and probability to win. Because if for the Startup was like the 10% basically, 10 companies, so the 10%, there was like maybe the 2.5% or maybe less. But at the end of the day, we won the prize. And we won the prize because the technology in the ICT stuff was really interesting for the committee of people that decided on that. So, another opportunity to explain you how much is important to continue to believe in your product, even if you get some down. Okay? Moving forward, another down was March 2018. March 2018, we were basically desperate, okay? Money running out, no idea about how to get some money, okay? And so we started to say, okay, we have to do a crowdfunding campaign. We will do it like bootstrapping way. Who knows what is bootstrapping? When we say bootstrapping, it is like the way you get money at the beginning with your company. So for example, renting an Airbnb and cleaning the Airbnb and paying some people with the Airbnb is a bootstrapping way to get the money, okay? Yes, we were really quite done. And okay, we started to say we can get those money from Italy because they don't understand the technology. Maybe it's too early right now in Italy to understand it. Maybe, I don't know, Gianluca Dettori was already a member of the company because he converted his, let's say, convertible note, which is a contract to get some money at the beginning, okay? So he was part of the company, but he said, I don't want to invest in that company because I don't see anything right now, okay? And so we said, we have to look at someone else and something else. And so we applied to do two competitions. One on the European Union side, which was the phase one of the two phases. The second phase is the one which we get the 2 million that now we have. The first one, the phase one was for, I think, 50K, okay? 50,000 euro. And we won. And we were like really happy. But we also applied to another really important competition, international competition, and we applied for an acceleration program made by Techstars. Techstars is the third most important accelerator in the world after Y Combinator. Who knows Y Combinator? Okay, please now starting to see something about Y Combinator, because if you want to do startup, you can just come and see Road to Startup Day and hear Alessandro Cillario speaking, which is quite boring. The speakers of Y Combinator are a little bit better than me, okay, so take a look on that. Take a look on Techstars, which is another great accelerator. The number 2, I don't remember who is, so forget it. But anyway, we applied to Techstars. We went to Tel Aviv for the selection. Probably the moment after my graduation where I was much more scared in my life, okay? Because I had to speak in English, in a different country, in a different way, with like no hours of sleep before, because we were concentrated to do, we have to say the best in the best way, blah, blah, blah. And so in a skyscraper in Tel Aviv, we had this speech with 4 people, me, Marco, Stefano, and Iona, who is another colleague of us. I mean, they selected us. And so we spent 3 months, 4 months, Stefano 4 months, I spent a couple of months, it depends. Let's do an average, in Tel Aviv. Why this is important? Because if you want to build a good business, you don't have to think that the good business is just for the Italian market. I don't think that can be any single business for a real startup that wants to scale, okay? And you will see what does it mean. I mean, with Nicolas in the last lesson, you have to look at the world. And if you have the opportunity to move for a period out from Italy and to see that, you have to do it. I mean, it's a good opportunity. With Almacube, we truly believe in that, and we hope that you can do it. The only difference is that we want to have the headquarters in Italy. And why we do that? For our values, and that's the reason why I think the values are important. Because we said, okay, we believe in Italy as an ecosystem. We believe that Italy could be a real good ecosystem for startups. We love Italian people. We love our country. Why do we have to move to Silicon Valley to develop a project there? Maybe it could be easier, okay? But it's not like our feeling. We want the headquarters here. Maybe tomorrow we will open a branch in Berlin, or I don't know, another office in London or in Silicon Valley, I don't know. But the point is, the heart of what we are doing is here, and we want to maintain it. But that doesn't mean that you can have some experiences outside, okay? That's really important, not just to learn some English and to speak with different people, but also because you can understand what the world is doing. 1 week ago we were, and that's another important point, try to understand what the world is doing if you have any competitor out from Italy. So we want to understand that, and we use, for example, big events to do that. Web Summit, which is in Lisbon. Web Summit is the biggest event in the world for tech startups, for example. And you can participate. I mean, the ticket, the cost of the ticket is maybe 600 euros, so a lot of money. But if you apply as a startup, most of the time they selected you and you can go there for free because they want to have a lot of startups there. There were, I don't know, hundreds of Italians there working at their startups coming from Italy. Okay? So another important point is like opening the vision and try to understand how the work is going in your business. I think that this is really important. Maybe important as the never give up that I told you before. Yeah, I just want to say, want to see if I'm losing something, but then I want to leave the stage to you and to your question, because I think that it's much better to answer to some of your questions. Okay, yeah, the only and the last thing that I want to say is an advice is when you start to work on a startup, you have a lot of noise. Okay, you have a lot of people that tell you what you have to do. You have a lot of people that tell you, I mean, how much you can raise, how much money you will be able to raise, and usually the money are at zero, of course. But the point is, you have a lot of people that tell you this is the right business, you have to do it that way, you have to move here, you have to move here. Trust me, you have just to find a balance between the advices and your personal opinion and idea. And that means that you cannot be like the genius of the company and the only person that understands where you have to move. You have to listen a lot. People that ask you to listen, basically mentors, VC funds and everything, but you also have to find a balance because you have the idea and you have the power to change your company and to build something different, and so you have to truly believe in that, and that's the first point. The second point, much more important, is be always ready to change your goals, okay, but please work on your goals and be focused. Okay, because it's, I mean, reasonable is it's normal that you find a lot of problems during your journey. It's normal that you have to pivoting. Okay, if you understand that the business is not going in the right direction. But the point is, if you really believe in a goal, until you really understand that you have to change from this goal, be focused on that and work on that as fast and as like strong you can. Because if you start to listen to every single advice and believe that that's the right advice, and 1 week, for example, you work to follow the advice of a mentor, and the second week you work to follow the advice of your co-founder, and the third week you work to follow your advice, and then in the last week of the month, what you do is just, you say, okay, now maybe I have to do some other stuff because I don't know if this startup will work good. You'll be lost. That's sure. I mean, so the point is, be focused on your goal and really believe in it. I don't want to, move forward in a lot of other stuff. I just wanted to share my experience in maybe half an hour, maybe 45 minutes, and just to give you some, let's say, tips, okay, of my experience and the experience of Cubbit. But I know that it's like a big and high overview of everything. So for any question, please let's use this time to do that. The only and last thing that I want to say is the importance of the network is based on the idea that you have to look on your side and to understand if the people that are in that room, in that aula, are able to help you to develop your business, and I think they are. So worst thing that you can do at the moment is just to move and say, okay, thank you very much, Alessandro, maybe I get something and now I go home. No, you have to look around, look at the people that are around you, and starting to think that maybe someone of them can help you to develop your business, not because they are your co-founders, okay, but maybe because they can share you some experiences, and maybe because they could be your first customers, or maybe just because they can say to you, this is a bad idea, and you can demonstrate to them that maybe it's not a bad idea. Okay? Questions?
So you were saying that when selecting co-founders, one co-founder can have a vision like when a company is 100 million, they'll sell it, and one wants to be a Google sort of. So how do you, at the initial time when you are deciding on a co-founder, how do you get these visions of the conflict in the visions of the co-founder?
How do you what?
How do you recognize?
How do you recognize? Okay. Well, yeah, that's a good question because I didn't say that. I think that the most important thing is be direct. Be direct. I mean, if you have to work for 5 years, maybe 10 years, maybe your entire life with another person, the useful thing that you can do is be direct at the beginning. Okay. Then the ideas of people, of course, like they change during the life, and that's easy to be, I mean, understood. But the point is, you have to be direct. You have to say, okay, when I want to build a company and I have to go and create that company, maybe before I have just to sit down with my co-founders, potential co-founders, and say, okay, let's discuss about few stuff, okay? Also, if you want to find a girlfriend and to create your family, okay, the point is you have to stay there and just starting to say, okay, maybe if we want to live together for the rest of our life, we need to understand if we want some children or not, if we want to live in Alaska, as I told before, or not, and that's it. Be direct, I mean, and you don't have to be afraid about the issues, because you can solve it. I mean, you can find a balance between the two values. If you have a great co-founder as a software engineer, and you just want to, and he wants to create Google, and you just want to get some money, maybe you can find a balance. Maybe you can say, why don't we just create the first company and we get some money, and with the second company we do Google, for example. That could be, a way to find a solution. Or maybe you can say, you know, maybe to do some money, Google could be a good idea, and so you can still work together. The best way is to be direct.
First, you said that you graduated in law, with law, by the way. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So and I wanted to ask.
But I didn't say with law. Okay, no. My ego is not bigger than that. I mean,
a little bit. I wanted to ask you how you entered in the tech world and how you contributed in this startup with your skills.
Yeah, for sure. Well, first of all, your colleague demonstrates something really important, which is when you go to meet someone, be prepared. Okay? That's really important, because maybe he looked at my LinkedIn, okay, and he saw that I'm relatively low with law, okay? But that creates a connection, okay? Because later, when I will go out, I say, this guy is smart, okay? And I will say, this guy is smart, not the guy, or you are smart, or you are smart. So everything can create a connection. And in particular, if you take a look on the, let's say, profile, on the stuff, on the experiences of the people you are meeting, well, you can find something that is building a deeper relationship, as I told you before. So thank you to do because you have demonstrated something really important. Or maybe just your colleague there went to LinkedIn, and so you're the best one, he's the good one. But anyway, how? Technology is not really difficult if you don't have to code. I mean, the theoretical part of the technology is not difficult to be understood, okay? In particular, it's much more logical than law. It's much more logical than sometimes math also, okay? So, I can explain you how Cubbit works, and it's really easy to be understood, even if you have zero know-how in technology stuff, okay? And I had the opportunity to meet a co-founder that was able to explain us the basics of the technology, even if we weren't interested in technology before. And so, I mean, me and Stefano, we love politics, we love literature, we love arts, we love business in part, innovation for sure, but not technology in particular. We are not like geeks, okay? But it's quite easy to be understood if you work hard on that stuff for, enough time. If you just spend, 1 month on that side, it's impossible to do something like that. But if you work and you spend years in working on that field, you'll be able to do that. And that's another important lesson in my life, and I want to share it to you. If you're a smart person, there's basically nothing that you can't really understand. You have a time during your life from 17 years old, maybe 16 years old, from 16 years old to 30 years old, where you are really able to understand stuff, to study a lot, to use your memory in the best way. And so that's the most useful period in your life to understand something new, to learn something that you don't know in different fields. Of course, if you want to start to work in, physical, statistical stuff, maybe it's difficult. Maybe it's difficult right now. How old are you now?
19.
Okay, so you can do it. But maybe if you are, let's say, 24 years old, you can't do that pretty well, even if you. But you can spend maybe some years in studying it at the university. But that's the only opportunity, because it's really deep technology, really deep know-how that you can have, that you should have. On the other side, if you have to learn how to, for example, manage a business, I'm related in law, okay, but I know pretty well right now how works a financial statement, un bilancio di una società, or I know pretty well how to manage money inside a company or to organize the HR of a company, and I basically learned it during day by day, okay? So you don't have to be afraid about this kind of stuff. You just have to work a lot and say, if this topic is really important for me and for what I'm doing, well, okay, I have to work a lot. I will spend the next 6 months to do that, but you're totally able to do that. It's an important lesson for me, because I started, when I was 19 years old, I wanted to be a journalist. I watched on Wikipedia for Indo Montanelli, which was probably one of the most important journalists in Italy, and I said, shit, Indo Montanelli, when he was 19 years old, he was much smarter than me, because he was in London working there. Oh, I'm so sad. But the point is, now I'm an entrepreneur. I work as a managing director in Almacube, and I'm doing something else. So you can pivoting, you can change what you want to do, and you also you have all the potential to understand stuff that are not like your core side. Of course, if you are 19 years old.
Ci puoi raccontare qualche esperienza di litigio che hai avuto
Litigio?
nel team?
Fights.
Ti ha portato a chiedere magari scusa, oppure il contrario, ad apprezzare questo punto?
I never asked for opinions. No. I'm the boss, and I don't want to. I'm joking. Not so many discussions, not so many conflicts, fights. Maybe a couple, and for like good reasons. For example, I work a lot with also with the University of Bologna, with Almacube, and with everything. And so sometimes, of course, another co-founder said to me, okay, but how much time you can really spend on Cubbit, because we have to do a lot of stuff. We have to create a big company. So that's a typical way to find a discussion in a starting company, for example, because for sure they said, okay, I'm here, I'm working so hard, and so on, and you are maybe around, and I don't know what you're doing. Okay. Okay. Another situation, not in our case, is if you, for example, are in terms of ego, that works sometimes. I mean, if you want to be the picture of the company, but there's another guy who wants to do the same, maybe you can have a conflict. It's a stupid one, because I mean, if you want to build a company, it's not important who is on the stage just to say, that's my company, okay? You have to work a lot in a lot of other stuff, but that would be another kind of conflict. Not many others, really. Yes.
L'idea di voler fare un'impresa politicamente corretta, tra virgolette, possa influenzare i percorsi.
Una domanda. Questa è una bella domanda.
Dire che quello che voglio fare deve essere in giustizia oppure deve rispettare le persone con cui mi relaziono.
Sustainability and sustainable relationships. So, go to a very impact, one of the events of Almacube. no. In our situation, I mean, our business protect the environment because the data center in the world produce and use the 3% of the global energy, okay? And with the peer-to-peer technology and with the distributed data center, we are able to don't use this kind of energy, okay? We don't have to cool to refrigerate the data centers, basically. And that's the reason why inside our business we can say, okay, we will protect the environment with our technology. If you're not like exactly in that field, you have to understand the best way to protect the environment. I mean, if you just have a company and you have an office, you can just do recycle, and it's good because it's what you have to do. For example, when we moved to this office that we have right now, we said, okay, now it's time to do something a little bit useful also in terms of using stuff in the recycle side. And so we stopped to use plastic glasses or other stuff. There's like a few things, but when you want to, that's another important point that I want to share is when you start to find some co-founders, you have to find a balance, same values, blah blah. But then you have to teach basically these values for the other people, that come into your company, because you have to start to explain to the other people your belief and what you are doing, your will and everything. Not just in terms of I want to have a Google company or a medium company or everything, but also in terms of environment and all the stuff. So first of all, if you want to have like an impact on that side, you have to find co-founders that really believe in the same thing. Second, you have to, when you will start to hire people to basically collaborate with other people, they have to believe in the same things. And if someone of them is really, really involved on that side, he can help you also to find the best way to be on a good impact. And that's exactly the same for the relationship inside the team. So if I love like a kind of relationship, I know that all the people that will work for me, I want that they are exactly on the same page with me on that side.
All'inizio, quando avevo rispettato il video, è arrivata l'idea. Come sono state fatte immagino realizzare nell'immediato. Come vi presentavate di fronte a tutti quanti con un'idea che non sapete come fare, con i soldi, forse abbiamo
idea and you have any opportunity to be clear in what you're doing. Yes, what we did is just we sold for a lot of time, we just sold slide work. So a lot of slide with a lot of ideas inside and a lot of energy in saying, we can do that, we can do that, we can do that, yes, because it's this and this and you, it's a great business and you have this opportunity. I mean, right now I can tell you that we are building a distributed data center that is, from one side, is recycling internet waste and we turn it into the most competitive cloud provider. But this sentence that I know it and is in my memory, and that's it. At the beginning, wasn't clear. I mean, at the beginning it was like, okay, we can do let's say Dropbox, but distributed, and that's it. So it's during like your journey that you understand how to explain better your company, because you have to understand, first of all, yourself, second, your business, and then you have to understand also how to explain it. I do short answers just because, yeah, 3 questions, not 1.
Quando vede che comincia a preoccupare, poi siete conto di aver bisogno di competenze di altre persone, come e dove avete cercato nuovamente per il vostro libro?
Okay, we started with 4 people, but how, where we looked at to find new people for the company? Well, I don't know if you know that. Are you a student of the University of Bologna? Do you know how many students are in the University of Bologna? 88,000 students. So, you don't need to find like so far people. You have all around you right now. You will have it in Almacube, you will have it in Startup Day. So you just have to find the right people in the right place. That is the University of Bologna right now. Then, if you find I need a PhD coming from Oxford and he wants to help you, I'm glad to know it. But you can find the talent that you need to help with right here right now. What was the last question? Giacomino, ci vuoi provare? Vai?
Which are the reasons why you believe Italy is a good ecosystem for tech startups?
I believe that Italy will be a good ecosystem, not that it is a good ecosystem, but I also believe that if we started to say just, okay, someone else will do that, someone else will build big companies, good startups in Italy, Italy will be just a place of small medium enterprises, good place, but I mean, you know that there's also another important state in the world, and the name is China, and another one is America, and another one is Russia, and I'm talking about the bigger. So we have to build it together. You have to build it with me, and I really believe that that could be a game change for Italy. Why? Because we need to restart to believe in the power of our innovations. I mean, we are a great country with a lot of genius, okay? But they're always alone. They're always like Leonardo da Vinci, wow, genius, and another, oh, wow, genius. But the true reality is that Leonardo da Vinci is Leonardo da Vinci just because he started to work together in the Medici ecosystem, okay, with a lot of other people, a lot of other smart people. So, okay, at the end of the day, you will find a Bernini, a Leonardo da Vinci, and a lot of others. But the point is the ecosystem, and we have to build it together. Are you crying? No.
Si chiama Stefano il...
Sì.
Okay. Chi è stato il pazzo?
L'idea? Marco, il terzo. Quindi nessuno dei due. Un'idea tecnologica non poteva venire da due che non capivano niente di tecnologia. Lui ci ha convinto subito, il business era molto interessante ed eravamo dei pazzi anche noi perché ci piaceva molto.
Quando siete arrivati in basso, cosa avete fatto per convincere gli altri di restare con voi, soprattutto quando vi siete convinti voi?
How you convince yourself to like move forward even if you are down, and how you convince the people in your company to do the same. I don't know, I don't have like many, I'm not a magician, I mean, probably we had with us few people, but they were really believing what also sort of lucky sometimes. I mean, I'm not usually the depressed one, okay? But sometimes I am. Dipende per il giudizio. Allora, questa me la fai dopo a me perché sennò Giacomo si suicida. Now, on the other building we are doing another project that is really interesting. The name of the other project is Entrepreneurship Program. I don't know if you know it. Entrepreneurship Program is a project to bring innovation inside the public administration, so it's totally different, but there are like 30 students from the University of Bologna that are doing this program. And so now we will go with them to do like an aperitif, take a spritz in a bar, Madame Bistro, which is a bar in Via Santo Stefano. San Vitale, pardon. Via San Vitale. So, Via San Vitale crossing to Piazza Aldomandi. Okay? So if someone of you wants to come just to share ideas, potential, whatever, okay, be free to come there. If you want to take a spritz, you just have to pay the spritz. If you want to take anything